Hello everybody, Marc.antomattei here with another movie review. This time it is Superman 2025. I just got out of the theater Friday morning to see this in IMAX right here in Tokyo, Japan. These are some notes that I had written down on my Facebook to share with friends, but just to share them with you really quickly, I said that obviously this is not as good as Reeves' Superman, but this is as good as we're going to get for this generation. So let that be a premise of what we're getting ready to delve into inside of this review. Now, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, to say the least, and you know, the haters have been out hunting for this one for the absolute longest, ever since the cancellation of the old DCEU universe, which was not going well at all. Even as decent of a filmmaker as Zack Snyder is, he just did not understand this character whatsoever at all. And the generation of people that went to go see his Superman movies, Man of Steel, followed by its sequels, they didn't understand the character at all. And them getting captivated by those movies, they really thought that that's what the character was supposed to be, when that was nothing like the character whatsoever. There was nothing Superman about those Superman movies at all. And they were rather disappointing. And I think I've seen Man of Steel probably 2 or 3 times. Man, I watched Superman 4 about 200 times, a lot more than what I've seen that. As bad as that movie is, at least Christopher Reeve himself understood what the character is about, and he makes the character likable and watchable. But anyways, I'm digressing. So here, you know, we have as good of a Superman as we're possibly going to get for this generation. First of all, David Corenswet, he will be this generation's Superman for as long as we know. What an actor. Guy picked up from Juilliard, which coincidentally Christopher Reeve went to Juilliard. So we got this nice fine thespian here. Very likable guy as a person outside of the character, and very likable as the character. He is the best thing going for this movie by far. I guess you could throw the director's name inside of there as well, but yeah, I guess we could throw the director's name inside of there, because, you know, without a good director or good direction, who knows where David Corenswet would be. But as an actor and as the character, he's fabulous inside of this. Going back to Christopher Reeve's movie, you know, that was the perfect storm of having all the perfect people involved inside of that. Christopher Reeve, Margot Kidder, Marlon Brando, Richard Donner, Mario Puzo, the Newman brothers, and John Williams on score duties. Out of all of those people that I named, John Williams is the only one that's still alive, and who knows how much longer that's going to be for. The guy's in his freaking 90s, and he did not return for this movie, and he won't be returning for any other Superman movie. So all the people that made the Perfect Storm Superman movie will never be involved inside of a Superman movie ever again, which is disappointing, because man, it was the perfect storm. Superman 78 and Superman 2. I wish we could have had Christopher Reeve, Margot Kidder, Marlon Brando, and John Williams till the end of time, man. To the end of their lifetime, I wish we had those people. It's just not the way it's going to be. So, what this lacks, this new movie, the 2025, what it lacks that the 1978 movie had, was all that serious drama inside of there. And man, I can never say this word. Dick Donner can say this word unlike anybody else. Verisimilitude. There we go. I got it, baby. I got it. This movie is lacking that. If Superman 1978 made you believe that a man could fly, this movie made you believe that a comic book could be brought to life in the form of a comic book on the big screen. This movie was nothing but comic book through and through. You didn't believe that you were watching anything serious. You didn't believe you were watching anything campy. You just believed you're just watching the pages of a comic book be flipped on the big screen. This was so much a comic book. Everything that Zack Snyder's movie was not. I don't know what the hell Zack Snyder was doing, but this movie is so much better than that. And I got to give all the people involved inside of this movie credit. It was a spectacle of a movie. And this is every bit of James Gunn Superman than anything else. It was Guardians of the Galaxy in a different universe. It was a little bit of Star Wars. You know, you're in space, jumping in universes inside of here. It's very, very fantasy, very sci-fi fantasy. That was the good thing that was going for it. The other thing, if I didn't already say it, I said James understands the character more than Snyder ever did. And depending on who you are and how you feel about the character, this movie could be a 7 out of 10. Or if you love the character such as me, I'm a Boy Scout. I am the biggest Superman fan probably in the world. I give it an 8 out of 10. Which is to say it's not as good as Superman 1 or 2, but we'll put it right behind that. If you love them, this is definitely worth the full price of admission. So don't wait for this one to hit streaming. Just pay for the money to go see it. I saw it in IMAX, and they even gifted me, what did they gift me? They gifted me a poster, a little small poster, a little something. Let's see what it is. All right, there you go, man. Hang this one up on my refrigerator. So I got that. Something that I'm proud to have. Nice little parting gift. Really good movie. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I want to add to this? I don't want to spoil this too much. I went into this absolutely blind, not knowing what to expect at all. I didn't watch other movie reviews written and or on YouTube to try not to spoil too much. One thing about this, just pulling these, not in any chronological order, they stole some music cues from John Williams. So you have the main Superman theme and different cues of the music. But aside from that, aside from those Superman John Williams cues being inside of the score, the music is probably the absolute worst part of this movie. Very unforgettable. Aside from those John Williams cues, there are no recognizable themes or cues that you could pull from this movie and have just living rent-free inside of your head and say, oh man, that's a good piece of music, and you're just thinking about it all the time. You will not remember this score at all whatsoever. From the time you walk out of the theater, it'll just be all just a big blur. So that was the worst thing about it. Said the best thing about it was David Corn Sweat. A little bit of the plot. The movie starts off with Superman stopping a war from taking place between two fictional countries. And you can almost liken this to real life with Israel and Gaza. Everybody says that Israel is doing a bad thing. You could see it harming a lot of innocent people. Superman more or less goes inside of these, in between these two countries, and stops an invasion from one into the other, protecting the lesser people, more or less these so-called Gazans of this movie, from getting invaded and massacred by the big brother country, the one with all the firepower. And the way that he does it, he does not talk to any government officials. He doesn't talk to any prime ministers, no presidents. He just goes inside of there and just lays down the hammer and says, you know, if you're gonna do something to these people, understand you're gonna be doing it to me. So heed my warning before you go inside of there and start doing anything. The war has been prevented to that extent, but you know, one of the countries, the invading country, had their own so-called metahuman, which then gets into a fight with Superman. They call this guy the Hammer Aboravia, something like that. I think that's what that guy is called. Yeah, the Hammer Aboravia, just a metahuman that was unknown to the world, who belongs to this invading country, comes out, beats the crap out of Superman, and this is where we start off. And Superman is pretty human in terms of his spirit, his mind, and even the indestructibility that we mostly see with him inside of most other Superman films. He's a lot more nerfed inside of this movie than what he normally is. This guy is getting beat up every which turn, left, right, center, and it kind of makes the guy a little bit more relatable because he's not indestructible and he can't just punch his way through all his problems. And this guy got all kinds of problems inside of this movie with people, with villains. The guy just can't win. And it's good seeing a flawed hero. It makes the guy more relatable to us, the viewer, and it makes us wonder: is he gonna make it to the next panel, so to speak? Obviously, he does. He's the main character of the film, and we know that there's going to be sequels upon sequels for this, and we know that he's going to make appearances inside of other films. So, yeah, very good movie. You guys are going to be surprised to see who the Hammer of Boravia is. You're going to be surprised to see what is that guy's name? Ultraman, there we go. I was trying to think of that for the longest. Yeah, you'll be surprised to learn who he is and who the actor is, who's playing him. Everybody wants to know that question. Who is Ultraman inside of the DCU, and who's the actor playing this guy? A lot of people have a lot of speculations out there. We'll see if they're true. Well, you'll see if they're true if you watch the movie. I already know this, but yeah. Great movie all in all, man. Highly recommend for everybody to go see it. Worth the full price of admission. Anyways, I'd like to thank you guys for watching my quick review over Superman. Not Superman the movie, but Superman as it is called inside of this new DCU. I can't wait to go home and watch Creature Commandos now, which I haven't seen prior to this, and every subsequent thing that's going to be inside of this universe. Highly looking forward to it. Oh, speaking about a terrific movie, Mr. Terrific was great inside of this. Oh, what a great character, man. I will be buying that leather jacket. That dude was cool. He was cool. Nathan, what is that guy? Nathan Fillion was good as the Green Lantern. Likeable, man, likeable. You will fall in love with all of these characters. Probably the weakest one out of the bunch is obviously not obvious, but it turns out, it will be obvious once you see the movie, is Hawk Girl. She doesn't have as many speaking lines as Terrific and Green Lantern. And her character's more or less just there just to bash stuff with a hammer, with her spike mace, or whatever that thing is called, malice mace, that spike bat. She'll be bashing people up with that. But aside from that, she's kind of a little bit useless inside of this movie. She's there, but yeah, whatever. Anyways, I'd like to thank you guys for watching this review. Salute to you wherever you may be out inside the world. And I will see you guys inside the next one. And until next time, peace. I'm out.